Have you ever stood in front of your mirror, tugging at a top that just won't sit right? I have. I've been there. I've fought with slipping straps, bunchy waistbands, and those wide necklines that somehow always betray us. But I started testing fashion hacks from stylists, costume designers, and even some old Hollywood tricks. And what I discovered completely changed how my clothes fit. In today's video, I'm sharing the ones that actually work for women over 50. These aren't gimmicks, they're solutions I now use every single day. Stay with me because the one that saved my favorite blazer? You're not going to guess it. Have you ever put on a jacket or cardigan that you absolutely loved, until you caught your reflection in a mirror and saw that the shoulders were slouching or drooping a little? It's one of those subtle things that we might not notice right away, but it makes a huge difference in how a piece sits on the body. As we get older, especially over 50, posture changes just slightly, and even a beautifully tailored jacket can suddenly feel a little off. That's why this next hack is one I swear by. What I do is really simple, but makes a world of difference. I use slim, no-sew shoulder pads. Now, don't panic. We're not talking about the big, bulky pads from the 1980s that made us look like linebackers. These are sleek, contoured, and lightweight. You can get them in stick-on versions, or even just tuck-in styles. And the goal here isn't volume, it's structure. Just enough lift to help the garment sit correctly again. The trick is to place them inside a jacket or knit blazer that's starting to lose its shape. I've done this with some of my older cardigans too. The ones that used to drape beautifully but now sag around the neckline. Once those shoulder pads are in place, the whole top half of your outfit just looks cleaner, more intentional. Suddenly, a $40 cardigan looks like it came off a runway. You'd be amazed how many women ask me, "Did you get that tailored?" after I've used this trick. And I'm like, nope, just a little shoulder lift. It's especially flattering if you've got rounded shoulders or tend to hunch a bit, which is completely normal over time. A little support up top balances everything out visually. It also helps with layering. When your outerwear holds its shape at the shoulders, the pieces underneath don't shift as much. That means fewer weird bumps and bunches around the armholes or collar, something I used to fight all the time. Think of it like adding a soft frame to your silhouette. If you're not into sewing, you can get ones with adhesive backings, or even Velcro versions that let you move them between jackets. I've reused mine on at least 5 different pieces this year alone. It's such a small fix, but it truly transforms the way your outfit looks and feels. And once you try it, trust me, you'll start looking at your closet differently. Suddenly, those pieces you were about to donate, you'll want to try them on one more time, with this shoulder lift in place. Total game changer. Now let's talk about something I know so many of you have dealt with: waistband gaps, especially with jeans or trousers. You find a pair that fits perfectly through the hips and thighs, but then you sit down and boom, there's a huge gap at the back of your waist. I used to think this was just my body being difficult, but nope, it's a super common fit issue for women over 50, especially if your waist-to-hip ratio has shifted a bit. Here's what I do now. I use what's called a hidden waistband belt. It's not a regular belt you wear outside your clothes. It's this discreet little elastic belt that hooks onto the back belt loops inside your jeans. It pulls the waistband in just enough to prevent the gap, but it doesn't add any bulk at the front. It's magic. The best part? It works under tops you want to leave untucked. You don't have to see it, feel it, or adjust it throughout the day. Once it's clipped in, it stays put. I've worn it during travel, running errands, even to lunch with friends, and I never once had to fuss with my pants. If you've ever done that awkward waistband tug in public, you know what I mean. This hack also saves money. There was a time I would buy jeans a size smaller just to fix the gap, and then suffer through tight thighs or pinched hips. Not anymore. Now I buy for my hips and use this little trick to make the waistband match. It feels custom fitted, without visiting a tailor or returning yet another pair. One tip: look for adjustable versions so you can fine-tune the fit. I even keep one in my suitcase just in case. It's honestly one of the most practical fashion tools I own, especially now that my body doesn't fit the standard sizing brands use. And if you like wearing belts, this trick can still work. Just wear your statement belt over your top instead. Pure style, zero function, and let this little hidden helper do the real job behind the scenes. Honestly, once you solve the waistband gap, you'll find yourself reaching for your pants and jeans more often. You're comfortable, you feel held, and nothing's tugging or sliding down. It's the kind of quiet fix that changes how your clothes behave and how you feel in them. All right, now this next one is a total outfit saver. Have you ever put on a button-up blouse that fits? Beautiful everywhere except that one little spot right across the bust where the fabric gaps open just enough to make you feel self-conscious? Oh, I've been there, and I used to avoid button-downs entirely because of it, until I found this hack. Enter fashion tape, specifically double-sided clothing tape that's made for fabric, not your average Scotch tape. I place a small piece of tape right between the buttons where that gap tends to happen, and press the fabric down. It keeps the blouse lying flat without pulling or puckering. No one can see it, and the shirt instantly looks smoother, neater, and a whole lot more flattering. The best part is that it doesn't damage the material. It's perfect for those silky blouses that are impossible to pin without creating holes. And I love that it moves with me. When I sit, bend, or raise my arms, the tape holds strong. Plus, it's completely removable. I just peel it off after wearing it and throw the tape away. Easy. Now this is my go-to fix when I wear fitted button-ups under blazers or cardigans. It gives me peace of mind that everything's staying in place, and I don't have to keep adjusting or hiding behind my handbag. And yes, I've tried sewing hidden snaps, but this is way faster and just as secure. If you've got a favorite shirt in your closet that you've avoided wearing for this exact reason, don't toss it. Try this instead. You'll get more mileage out of your wardrobe without buying anything new. I even keep a little travel-sized tape roll in my bag just in case. Want to know which fashion tape I use and trust? I've added links to my favorite ones in the description box below. I've also included a few extra products that work with delicate fabrics and heavier shirts too. I hand-picked them so you don't have to spend hours scrolling. Check them out when you're ready. Necklines that stay put. Now let's move on to something that used to drive me absolutely nuts. Necklines that won't stay in place. You know the tops, I mean. The ones that look great on the hanger. But the minute you sit down or bend over, they shift and suddenly you're tugging, adjusting, and praying your bra isn't showing. And don't even get me started on wrap tops or off-shoulder styles. Gorgeous, but sneaky. So, here's what I do. I use tiny, clear snap buttons or fashion tape to secure tricky necklines from the inside. Let's say I have a deep V blouse. Before I even put it on, I add a discreet snap between the two sides of the V, right at the level I want it to stop. It keeps the neckline secure without altering the look of the top. If the fabric is delicate or sheer, that's when I switch to the tape. Another trick? Using double-sided tape to anchor the neckline to your skin. Just a little strip right at the collarbone or inner edge can keep a neckline from drifting out of place. It's invisible, and I promise, once you try it, you'll stop doing that awkward shoulder shrug to pull your top back into place every 15 minutes. This tip is especially helpful with drapey tops or anything made of satin or rayon. Those slippery fabrics move with your body and can slide around, especially if you're layering or wearing a shoulder bag. A bit of anchoring helps the outfit stay exactly how you intended it to look. I've even done this on dresses when I've gone out dancing, or to events where I know I'll be moving a lot. Nothing ruins a great dress like feeling uncomfortable or constantly adjusting it. With this fix, I forget it's even an issue. And that freedom to move without thinking about your clothes? That's priceless. So next time you try something on and think, this would be perfect if only the neckline didn't shift, don't give up on it. With a few snaps or a bit of tape, you can make that piece a go-to staple. And honestly, you'll feel more secure which makes you look even better in the outfit. Next up, this one's tiny but mighty. If you've ever worn a wide neckline, like a boat neck or an off-the-shoulder top, and spent the entire day tucking your bra straps back under your shirt, you're not alone. It's one of those little things that can totally mess with the vibe of an outfit, especially when you're out and about or taking photos. I've had so many women over 50 ask me, is there any way to wear those styles without going strapless? Yes, there is. And it doesn't involve buying a new bra. What I use is a simple bra strap clip or a pair of mini snap loops sewn into the inside of the neckline. These little loops keep your bra strap anchored to your top so it doesn't peek out. You can sew them yourself if you're crafty, but honestly, I just buy pre-made ones that clip right onto the bra and tuck into my top. If you want a completely no-sew version, grab those little silicone strap holders. They're usually shaped like figure eights, and pull your straps together at the back. This not only keeps them out of sight, but it also lifts the bust just slightly and improves posture too. It's like a micro lift for your silhouette. This hack works beautifully with tops that have unusual or asymmetrical necklines. I have a few summer blouses that I love, but they would never work with a normal bra until I started doing this. Now, I don't even hesitate. The look is clean, the bra stays hidden, and I don't have to worry about tugging at my top or sacrificing comfort for style. And for those of you who wear wider necklines in colder months, think boat neck sweaters, this works for you too. I used to layer tank tops underneath just to cover my straps, but now I use the clip or the loops and skip the extra layer. Much cleaner, much more intentional. Try it once and you'll wonder why it took you so long. You don't need to stop wearing beautiful wide neck tops. You just need a little trick that gives you the freedom to enjoy them again, without feeling exposed or distracted. Okay, let's talk about something that drives me crazy, especially in cooler months: static cling. You know that moment when you slip on a skirt and it starts sticking to your tights like you've been electrocuted? Or you take off your coat and your blouse clings to you like a second skin? Yep, that's static. And it always seems to strike when you're already running late. Now, you could use static spray, and yes, it does work. But I found something that's often already in your drawer: a simple dryer sheet. I kid you not. Just rub it gently over your tights, slip, or even the inside of your dress before heading out. It completely kills the cling. I even rub one over my hairbrush sometimes to calm flyaways when the air gets dry. If you're wearing pants, a dryer sheet across the inner thighs and lining works wonders. And it doesn't leave any weird residue or smell, especially if you go for the unscented versions. It's one of those mom tricks I picked up years ago and never stopped using. Another good fix? A metal hanger. Just run the wire part gently over your clothes to discharge static. It sounds strange, but it's based on simple physics. The metal helps break the electric charge building up on synthetic fabrics. This is particularly helpful for those satin or polyester blends that seem to attract static like a magnet. And if you're in a pinch and don't have either, a little bit of hand lotion on your palms, rubbed onto your tights or the inside of your skirt, can do the job. It adds just enough moisture to stop the charge without ruining the fabric. I've done this in public bathrooms more than once when I've been caught off guard by clingy clothing. So tell me, have you ever had a static nightmare moment? Like your dress sticking to your legs at a wedding or your blouse riding up under a sweater? Drop your funny or frustrating stories in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And let me know if you've got a different hack I haven't tried yet. I might feature it in a future video. Let's talk about one of the most heartbreaking moments in a closet: when your once deep jet black top or trousers fade into that sad, dusty charcoal. And it doesn't matter how expensive the item was, black just loves to fade over time. But here's the thing. I stopped tossing them, and instead, I learned how to bring them back to life. Yes, it's totally possible to restore black clothes, and it's easier than you think. First, I want to bust a myth. Black clothes don't always fade because of poor quality. Often, it's how we wash them. I've made the mistake of throwing everything in hot water or drying them on high heat, and let me tell you, it'll dull your blacks in no time. So now I use cold water inside out, with a detergent specifically for dark colors. That alone extends the life of anything black in my wardrobe. But when something has already faded, I go for fabric dye refreshers. There are easy liquid treatments that go right into your wash cycle. No mess, no special equipment. I've revived several black dresses and even a pair of linen trousers that I thought were completely done for. The color came back richer and more even than I expected. Just follow the directions carefully and always test on a small area if you're unsure. Another tip? Add a half cup of vinegar to your rinse cycle. It sounds strange, but it locks in dye and softens the fabric. It's like giving your clothes a mini spa day. And if you're using a dye refresh, the vinegar helps set the color so it doesn't bleed onto lighter pieces the next time you do laundry. And here's my real secret weapon: black fabric spray. If I have a faded hem, neckline, or underarm area, I'll use a small spritz of fabric-safe black dye spray. It gives targeted restoration without needing to re-dye the whole garment. You can find these in most fabric stores or online, and they've saved my favorite midi dress twice now. So before you donate or toss that faded black tee or skirt, try one of these methods. You'll be surprised how much life you can bring back with just a few tools you probably already have at home. Now, let's be honest. Comfort becomes non-negotiable after 50. I still love a good heel every now and then, but most days I reach for flats. The problem is, not all flats look good. Some can cheapen your outfit instantly, especially the super soft or overly casual ones. But don't worry, there's a formula I use to pick flats that still elevate my outfit without sacrificing comfort. Start with structure. The moment a flat loses its shape and starts looking like a slipper, it loses that refined touch. I look for a firm sole, a supportive insole, and a pointed or almond-shaped toe. That little bit of toe shape adds length to the leg and immediately makes the shoe look intentional, not lazy. Next, focus on materials. Matte faux leather often looks plasticky, while real suede or croc-embossed leather, even in flats, adds instant texture and richness. I once wore a $35 pair of pointed croc flats to a Fashion Week event, and someone asked if they were designers. It's all about picking pieces that mimic luxury details. Color plays a huge role too. A nude flat that matches your skin tone or a deep chocolate brown always looks more elevated than bright or overly embellished options. And please, no giant bows or shiny studs if you're going for that quiet elegance. If you want a little flair, go for subtle metallics or a fine ankle strap. And finally, take care of them. I rotate my flats like I do my nicer shoes and store them with little foam inserts to maintain their shape. I also use a suede protector spray or a conditioning polish depending on the material. A well-maintained flat, especially a good quality one, can outlast multiple seasons and still look fabulous. Now here's one I use all the time: how to hem your pants or jeans without going to a tailor. If you've ever found a pair of trousers you love, but the length just isn't quite right, don't walk away from them. You can absolutely fix that at home, quickly, easily, and without a single stitch. For a temporary fix, I always keep double-sided hem tape in my drawer. It's perfect for travel, or those last-minute morning panics, when I realize the wide-leg pants I wanted to wear are dragging on the ground. The tape holds for an entire day, walking, sitting, even going upstairs, without coming loose. But when I want something that looks more finished without a tailor, I use iron-on hem tape. It gives a clean, flat edge and works well on most fabrics, especially denim and cotton blends. I fold the pants to my desired length, place the tape inside the fold, press with a hot iron for 10 to 15 seconds, and it's done. Looks professional, feels secure, and no sewing required. I also love the raw hem trick for jeans. You measure where you want them to hit, cut the extra length, and then wash them once to get that soft, slightly frayed edge. It works best with straight or wide leg cuts and gives off a very intentional modern vibe. Plus, it's breathable in warmer months. One more tool I swear by is the hemming ruler. It's a flat metal ruler with pre-marked seam allowances. It keeps everything even so you're not eyeballing it. If you've ever ended up with one pant leg slightly shorter than the other, you know what I mean. This hack has saved me so many trips to the tailor and given new life to pieces I almost didn't buy. Whether it's wide leg linen trousers or a pair of fall trousers that looked too long in store, I always ask myself, can I hem it at home? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is yes. All right, so we've tackled hems, we've revived old blacks, we've made flats feel designer. But now I'm about to show you a trick that not only saved my favorite blazer, it fixed a problem that I know so many of us deal with after 50. But we never talk about it. You're not going to believe how simple it is. Let me paint the picture. My favorite blazer, this beautiful soft wool one in dove gray, started slipping off my shoulders every time I wore it. I thought it was me. My posture. Maybe I needed to tailor it again. But then I learned this simple little trick that completely changed the way my jackets fit. Shoulder weights. Yes, shoulder weights. I know it sounds dramatic, but hear me out. Sometimes, as we age, our shoulders narrow just slightly or our posture shifts. That little change makes structured pieces like jackets or coats slide in ways they never used to. Shoulder weights gently hold the garment in place without pulling or adding bulk. I use stick-on fabric weights, the kind made for drapery or theatrical costumes. I attach them inside the shoulder lining, close to the seam, and they work like magic. My blazer suddenly sat right where it was supposed to. No more slipping, no awkward shrugging, and no tailor involved. Plus, it made the entire piece look more expensive because it sat better on my frame. You can find these online or even make your own with small flat weights wrapped in fabric. They're undetectable when sewn or glued into the lining, and they won't change the outside shape of your garment. I even add them to lighter trench coats or silk jackets that tend to shift. What's more, this trick helps smooth out that hollow shoulder look that sometimes appears in thinner or older fabrics. It creates a cleaner silhouette, and honestly makes me feel like I'm wearing couture. Isn't it funny how such a tiny adjustment can bring back the love for a piece you were about to give up? So the next time you find a blazer or jacket that just won't sit right, don't toss it. Try this hack instead, and trust me, you'll want to start adding them to every coat you own. If these hacks made getting dressed feel easier, and maybe even more fun, then you're going to love what I've got coming next. In my next video, I'm sharing 10 easy tips to look expensive and elegant this summer. And let me tell you, it's not about buying designer pieces. It's about the little styling choices that instantly elevate your entire outfit. So if you want more tricks like these but with that summery, polished vibe, I'll see you there.